Let's go!
Well, good morning, everyone, on this wonderful day. We got a very special guest.
Well, that was pretty quick. It doesn't say Mike Machine. It's not the real thing. Our guest today is Chinedu Ezemenari, a great guy out of Scarborough, Toronto, who's just a beacon of light and amazing guy. He's all about the fashion world, a designer. And if you need to have a custom suit, he's the guy to go to.
Yes, if you don't have a suit, this is the episode for you because you got to get a suit.
Yeah, and it's not about the suit. It's about how it makes you feel.
That's right, how it looks.
Yeah, have you ever had a custom suit?
Never, but I will. And you'll see right after this episode.
Okay, so guys, enjoy. And let's just dive in.
Let's do it.
Straight out of the T-Dot.
That's what it is.
Live from the 6 boroughs.
Don't go nowhere.
For sure. Welcome to Standing in the 6 with your hosts, Michael and Constantine.
Are you ready?
Yeah, let's
You
do
ready?
it, man.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone.
Hey.
Usually we shoot on Mondays, but today we're going to be doing a special Friday shoot. Because in the house today, we got Chinedu Ezemenari.
Yes.
Did I say that properly? Because
You said it
I'm a big critique.
perfectly fine. It
Beautiful.
sounds like someone probably prepped you.
Could have. Or I could have a strong tie to the Nigerian Brotherhood.
Oh,
Hey,
maybe.
hey.
You know what I mean? That could be it.
be it.
But
How'd you know he's Nigerian?
how? Chinedu is a very strong Nigerian name.
It is. It's a very common Nigerian name.
What
Yes.
what does it mean?
Chinedu. It means
Ooh,
God leads.
say that again.
Oh.
Hold on.
Chinedu.
Chinedu.
Yeah.
It
God-
means
God leads.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So Chi is short for Chineke, which is God.
Yeah.
And then Nedu. So idumadu. So like to lead somebody.
Yeah.
Is the term. So it's hard to translate my language Igbo into English.
Yes.
It's a very old language, right? So English is almost like very limiting. So like the best way to describe it is God leads or God is leading.
So when your parents call you, do they say it exactly? Say like Chinedu, like that?
Chinedu.
Okay.
Chinedu.
I like that. Well, I have to say that Chinedu is representing CEO of CE Clothier Inc.
Yes, sir.
And we're really happy that you've been able to come down here.
Thank you for having me.
We're really looking to explore.
You know what? For those watching, I'm going to correct. If you can lower your mic just a little.
Okay, sorry.
Why?
How's this?
There you go. Just for
The
his camera.
ultimate,
There you go.
ultimate
Boom.
perfectionist. I
And
love
now
it.
now it suits your wardrobe perfectly.
Does it?
There
Yes.
you go.
It suits me.
Yeah.
Yes.
No
Hey.
pun intended.
Hey.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing because first of all, I love it when there's history of relationship.
Yes.
It just makes it that much more easy to pry.
100%. 100%.
But
Yeah. Pry away.
You and Mike, how do you guys know each other?
Oh man, I've known Mike since 1995. Man.
I think so, yeah.
Like a very long
Wow.
time. We went to the same high school. I was very good friends. Still good friends with his brother.
Okay.
Can I tell the story of how we first met? You probably don't even remember this.
I think you've said this
Yeah?
at one point.
So we were both very avid basketball fans, and we played ball. In grade 9, when I first got there, I was playing in the gym.
Okay.
And everyone knows Mike has a very fiery personality, right? And he wanted people to clear the court. So I'm just shooting around, and he takes a basketball and whips it at me.
Like right at
Like
you.
literally whips it at me, and I caught the ball.
He got it.
Oh.
Like he whipped it as hard as he could, and I just went, and he's like, "Get off the court." That was like our first interaction, and then
It's a good movie scene, right?
it was like the perfect movie scene.
Yeah.
Wow. This is the first time you ever saw Mike.
Because that
That was our first interaction. Like I knew of him, but that was our first interaction.
Now you're a tall guy, okay, and Mike's relatively tall. I mean,
compared to parts of the world.
parts of the world. do you think that aggression could have been from like
Like a little man
like
syndrome?
Napoleon syndrome? Or something?
I have no idea, man. But this guy was, yeah. He's like his personality was like 7 feet.
Like,
Yeah, I don't see size.
Well, it's funny that
Never
you
saw
said
size.
that because in our line of work,
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen Mike talk to 7-foot guys,
Yeah.
and basically
I don't know.
they cower down to a little puppy.
I don't know anybody who's as fearless as this guy.
Yeah,
Hey,
From the time we were in high school.
he truly is.
Good and
Actually
bad.
is.
Good and bad.
That's a great movie scene. You got the grade 9 shooting hoops, his love of the game. The
Yeah.
Raptors, that's their inauguration year.
Right.
Yeah, it
95.
was.
You're just
It
like,
was.
I like basketball.
Yeah.
Right? And then there's a guy like me. You know, born a punk. Right? I whipped the ball. I don't even remember the story. That's
You
what's
whipped
funny
it at
when he
me.
brought it up. I whipped it at
I
him.
can remember exactly. Like, do you remember?
So that establishes my
Can we
character.
say names? Can we say names?
Yeah, sure.
Remember Mike Santos?
Yes, yes.
He was around. He
Yeah.
was around that time as well. And I'm like, I don't like those guys.
Hmm.
This guy whips a ball at me. Mike Santos is like, yeah, get off the court. Like, I'm like, who are these guys?
I mean, it shows Chinedu though. He caught it.
Yeah,
Yes.
You know, just so you know, I was telling you, he played football. York
played
University,
football at
one of
York, yeah.
York's finest, man.
I was
Amazing
okay.
player. Oh,
I was
come
all right.
on, easy.
I was all right. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
still
you're
down
alright.
with, like, you still get into the groove of sports right now? or-
I'm trying to. Obviously, I've got 2 kids, and
Yeah.
it's very difficult to stay fit.
Yes.
I look at Mike,
Easy.
and I'm just like,
This
yo,
guy's
I'm
metabolism is
slacking.
on a whole different level. I'm saying the same thing.
it's-
I mean, I'm 41.
Yeah,
Mike is a couple of years under.
I'm
but
40.
he's 40, man.
Yeah.
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 A couple of year under.
A couple of years.
Yeah.
Couple year under.
Yeah, but I mean, it just blows my mind the way metabolism works. That you just
He
grow.
literally
Look at
looks
this.
the same.
Yeah.
So I'm fearless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm ageless.
This is all a podcast about Mike and
Anything
how
else? Yeah.
Yeah,
amazing he
exactly.
is.
I don't want
So-
to get in the way. Sorry, guys. Talk amongst yourselves.
So yeah, exactly. And I'm kind of getting bored talking about Mike right now. But let's do this. So grade 9,
Grade
okay,
9.
is 1995 roughly. I'm assuming for you when you met Mike.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
With his Jansport bag.
Okay.
My
And
Jansport backpack.
He had his Jans-
I was very
and
well
we-
known.
Chinedu
for
was
having a
known for
backpack.
his backpack.
Yeah.
was he?
Yeah.
I used to always have a backpack.
Like,
no
yeah.
matter where we were
Like
going.
literally, he was known for his backpack, and Chinedu was always. I still remember. There's certain stories about him.
Yeah.
Athletic. He's athletically gifted.
Yes.
I remember.
Was.
Come on, grade 9.
Yeah.
When we would hoop, we would do shirts and skins, and I remember Chinedu takes his shirt off, and the guy's ripped. Okay, so all the guys are like, yo, and it was an all guys high school, so
Yeah.
every guy's gauged himself by other guys.
Yeah.
So he was inundated with like, how much do you work out? All
Yeah.
this stuff, like, what's your routine?
Yeah.
And I remember him saying like, oh, I don't work out.
Yeah.
Okay, and then he basically
Really?
said, he goes, I'm Nigerian.
That's
no, I'm
it.
joking.
That's my line.
No, I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So when he had the backpack on, you know how like Ultimate Warrior, remember
Yeah.
remember Ultimate Warrior?
The green
he,
bands?
He would have the bands,
Yeah.
and it would make him both. So when he had the backpack,
Yeah.
it would like define him even more. So
Wow.
he was that grade 9 kid that we were known for really making life difficult for young
Yes.
bucks in the school.
Yeah.
But Chinedu kind of escaped that because of his strong blood.
Well, let me ask
no
you
one
thi-
wanted to poke the bull. right?
Nobody wanted to, eh?
Yeah, no.
No,
Well-
I mean, a couple of people tried, but
Yeah.
it was.
So you're in grade 9. You're in sports. You're ripped. You can dunk. You can do all these things. Mike tells me that in that time frame, you didn't really have any, or nobody would have known or had any interest that you were into what you're doing right now, which is the fashion
Yeah,
scene.
it's completely like opposites, man. Like we went to an all boys school where we were forced to wear blazers and ties.
Right.
And I hated it. Like if you see, like we have these pictures that we take of like, you know, your school pictures.
Yeah.
And I kept all of them. And you can see from grade 9, 10, 11, 12, back then we had OAC, just the progression.
Yeah.
Like the tie's like down here in the grade 9 one, and it starts to get closer and closer. And then
It's
OAC,
slowly.
it's like,
Are you kidding me?
yeah. OAC, I was clean and buttoned up.
So the blazer won you over.
Yeah, it took
over
some time, but I was definitely not interested in that. I mean, coming into high school, it's athletics defined my life at that time, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was what I was interested in, and that was just what I was about, basketball, and started playing rugby as well.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember
high
at that
school.
time if you had any career goals in mind at that age? I mean, most people you would think, I want to be a cop, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be
Right.
a doctor. Was there anything defined at that time for you?
Not necessarily defined. Again, when you're in grade 9, those aren't the kind of thoughts and conversations that you're having amongst your friends,
Right.
right? But as
Why not?
Because you're just young men, just especially in an all guys school. That's just not where you're at.
Right.
How
That's
come?
Well, I don't know. I'm not there anymore. But I just just thinking back to that,
Right.
those conversations were not conversations that were,
Yeah,
that
I
were
know,
in my
it's so
mind at all.
true.
Right.
At all. But I know that I always had
All that mattered was getting a ticket to get home on the bus after
Yeah,
school.
that's it.
That's what life was about.
That's what it was about. But I always wanted to get into business, though,
Okay.
for sure.
So the
for
entrepreneur
sure.
spirit was
the
in
entrepreneur
there.
spirit's always there because I saw my dad and the business that he was running back in Nigeria, and
What did he do?
He had a transportation company.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And my parents came here in the 70s, and so he went back to Nigeria, and the company was called Soul Train.
Nice.
Yeah. So he loved. My dad was swaggy back in the day, man.
Really?
Looking at some old pictures. Yeah. So he had a transportation company.
Swaggy Ezzy.
Swaggy Ezzy. That's
Yeah.
it, man. So I saw kind of how he was running things. I would see the people that were working for him and his interactions with them, and I always kind of wanted to do my own thing from a business perspective. And I think grade 10 is when we started taking like business. We had a teacher named Miss Coughlin in our school, and I actually got in her class, and I was very interested in business, but I wasn't the most studious guy, truthfully. You know, so I don't know. It's just definitely career goals were not on my mind, but I was like, I want to be a boss.
Yeah,
For sure.
You know what? Can I say my Miss Coughlin story?
Miss Coughlin.
Shout
for
out to
it.
Miss Coughlin. Hope you're alive and well, doing
Hope so too.
doing some great things, changing people's lives.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, can I stop you for a sec?
Yeah.
Can I very rudely just stop right now and get up? My OCD kicks in right now, and
Okay.
I'm not sure if I actually pressed record on the audio.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I did.
Yes.
But I want to double check because
Let's
this is
double
getting
This is
too good right
We're
now.
all OCD. You're a perfectionist with the camera.
We'll time lapse this right now.
I'm an
this portion
OCD
right
when
now.
it comes to my measurements.
So look,
too,
I'll go into my Coughlin story right now. So, OAC Accounting. Were we recording?
We were.
Okay, perfect. It's good to know. OAC Accounting.
OAC. I thought Miss Lavery did OAC
No,
accounting.
Miss Coughlin did it.
Okay.
And was it OAC? I don't know if I even got that high. I got caught cheating at the final exam. Okay. And I remember Miss Coughlin, you know, your teacher isn't there when you're doing the exam. So I saw her. And I guess I was always an actor. And something came over me. And
Really?
I went into a sob story about life at home and how difficult things have been and the pressure. And I made a poor life choice. And I brought a little sheet to help me. And I used it, and I shouldn't have. And
I'm about to cry right now.
There might have been some salty substance that even swelled in my eyelids. Miss Coughlin passed me,
Oh, really?
so I just want to say,
No, she was like that. Eh?
She
She had a very rough exterior,
yeah, but she had a
and
heart.
but she had a very, very soft heart.
So lesson, kids, study for your exams, or work on your acting.
Work on your acting.
Okay.
Have,
There you
have
go.
your sob
Just-
story in your pocket and pull it out when you
There you
need
go.
That's
Cool.
a true story. That was OEC Accounting.
Wow.
That was OEC Accounting. Otherwise, that would have been another reason why I wouldn't have been able to graduate. But we're talking about Chinedu.
That's
Yeah,
right.
man.
And
That's right.
Chinedu. So listen. So you look. I was saying this earlier.
Yeah.
I still remember. It's funny. I got distinct memories about Chinedu because Chinedu. You always met like Chinedu always made his mark. You weren't like a guy who just kind of. He would blend in a room and then he'd find a way to stand out.
Right.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Yeah.
Like he wouldn't just. He's not just like the guy who would go in with like a chip on his shoulder or like an ego, you know, or like with padded shoulders in his blazer.
Yeah.
Soft shoulders only.
But he'd find his way. Soul Train. It's so funny that your dad's company
Yeah,
was Soul Train
that's
because
the name of the
Chinedu was famous for his dancing. This guy,
Really?
yes,
yeah.
and like high energy,
Yeah.
jump in there at any moment.
That's actually one of the ways that I escaped the whole grade 9 thing, because what they would do to grade
You're
9s was they would actually make them go down the Soul Train line.
Oh man,
That's crazy. So
Wow.
they would make a line and be like, "Okay, dance, Niner," and most people like they would cower and be like, and then if you don't dance, you know, certain things happen, right?
Yeah, things happen.
So they would come to me. I'd be like,
There would
"Okay,
be-
I'm dancing."
There'd be consequences
Yeah.
if you didn't dance.
Yeah.
So they would come to me and be like, "Dance, Niner." I was like, "All right," and I'd dance and be like,
And Chinedu would-
it would totally like
He'd-
undercut the entire point of what they're
Yes,
trying to
yes.
do.
Which
Like-
is exactly. I mean, this is his life. His life is a disruptor.
Yeah.
The ball that I whipped at him was supposed to hit him.
Yeah.
It was supposed to establish the pecking order within the school.
Yeah.
But he caught it. See what I'm saying? Like, what better? He just caught it like this, and then he
Yes.
looked at me calmly, like,
Yeah.
you know. So whenever, let's just say, guys got beat bad in
Right.
that Soul Train. Can I
Right.
just be honest?
I can't confirm or deny.
Okay, I'm not
That
joking.
information.
And if a guy couldn't dance, there was guys that would go in with like such gusto, like they would be waiting for their turn.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, next niner, next niner, next
Like
niner.
grade 9s, you'd see them at the bus stop like practicing their dance
They're
moves. 'cause
getting,
like
they're getting it ready.
they're about to go.
I'm getting scared hearing this because
I'm
my
not joking.
daughter's about to go into grade 9 in 2 months.
Oh no, that was a totally different time.
It's a
Yeah,
different
yeah.
time. This,
Yeah.
is
And this
before,
is a-
this is before the internet.
Right.
So
And-
people knew. Guys took their liberties.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yes.
I'm not joking.
And
so,
an all boys school full of testosterone.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
in the 90s.
Jeez.
When gangs were pretty prevalent too. So they're just that mentality. So
that's
I always
correct.
say our high school was like a prison, the way it kind of like it operated. And I say that just from in the sense of the cafeteria. We had Cafrica,
Yeah,
remember?
Cafrica.
There was
Africa.
Yeah,
Oh
so
my
Africa
goodness.
was that where everyone
was
sort
one
of,
area,
Yeah.
which they adopted me because of my
Yes.
lineup. Yeah. Okay. And then,
and because you would give lineups.
Yeah.
yes, hey,
Yeah.
look at that, retired. So anyway, so with Chinedu found a way to always impress. So listen, I still remember he would jump into that lineup, the Soul Train, and the guy would just rip it with his backpack. He'd kill it, and literally everyone forgot that the whole point of it
Yeah.
was for you to fail.
Yeah.
But he would find a way to succeed, and he'd switch the gears of everything. But that's him, man. That's his whole makeup, man.
Crazy.
Yeah.
High school's fun, man.
Yeah.
So where did the shift happen then? I know you said you wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And that was always in you. When did it start happening? Saying I want to do this in fashion.
It started in high school in terms of just switching my mindset, understanding that presentation has a big impact on your life, on future opportunity, on how you're treated on so many different levels. And that probably happened like grade 11, I would say. I remember, I tell the story a lot, but I remember, no, grade 12 actually. There was a year that a lot of people left. Our mutual friend Miguel
Yep.
had transferred out. A whole bunch of our friends had transferred out, and it's like, I have to be my own person now, right? I can't depend on the crew.
It was a big crew too.
It was a big crew.
This is like a crew that took over every bus,
Every bus stop,
station,
every station
every
we
mall,
went to,
every
every
party,
event,
every house party,
Every Canada's Wonderland. We're going to get into those stories.
Yeah.
Oh shoot!
But in those later grades, I just remember having conversations with vice principals and all this stuff. And I remember one specific story when I was taking those pictures, and my dad was like, "You gotta, like, we want a proper picture, right? So put your stuff on properly." And I was just like, "Whatever, man." I put it up, and I remember walking to school that day, and a lady held the door open for me. Right? And
Wow.
I didn't know how to, like, you're young, right? You're 16, 15. I didn't know how to articulate it then, but I had a feeling of she's doing this because there's a certain presentation that I'm giving, right? And I started to make those connections, and I started to dress a little bit better. Grade 12, always see, not just like Bray Buff wise in terms of my tie, but just in general. So I went into university being known as that guy who was dressed clean. So that seed was planted there. Then after university, I'm going to fast forward past a couple of things, but after university, I started working in the staffing and recruiting industry. And this is an industry where you got to dress up a little bit, but not much. But I was always that guy that was like, that guy from that company, the guy that dresses well. That was my identity in that space. I always wanted to kind of stand out in that way. And I worked my way up from a junior consultant to a senior staffing consultant and then operations manager. There was nowhere else for me to go. And then this is where it's like, man, I should do my own thing, right? And what is that going to be? I started to think about, maybe I should run my own agency. So I looked into that, and the insurances were just too high. It's the financial, commitment that you'd have to make was just crazy. So I thought to myself, what's the next thing? Like, what am I known for? What would I want to do? And I wouldn't have to get paid for it, right? And dressing well. So I'm like, maybe I should get into, wholesale
That's really cool.
products. And I started to look into that.
So the entrepreneurial thrust is what helped you find it.
100%.
Interesting. That's
Like, I was being pushed. I felt that, like, okay, what's next? And to me, what was next was my own thing.
That's amazing. I say that because it's interesting how when you look at great entrepreneurs, it doesn't matter the industry. They might for 10 years just make their mark, and then it goes into the next thing.
Right.
And the next thing. So you don't know. 10 years from now, you might have nothing to do with fashion. It could just, there's a chance. I'm sorry to say. Okay. Don't take offense.
That's not even
I'm just speaking
Trust
rhetorically.
me, there's things in the works that it's probably going to be a reality. Who knows?
It's just one of those things, though. But that's what it is. It's
Yeah.
about finding something, thinking I can bring something unique to this,
Right.
and it's that opportunity that is what makes you salivate. It's not about everyone has to have my product.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That was it. No, you're right. There was a push to do something else,
Amazing.
to make my mark in some way. And then it's funny, our mutual friend, John T, sent me something on Facebook. It was a company that was doing suit fittings, right? So at that time, this is like 2012 maybe. at that time, I'm still kind of going through, should I do my own agency? I was in talks with a company who, basically what this company did is if you didn't have the capital, they would kind of be your back office and support you in like the staffing industry. So I was looking into that as well. So our friend sent me this thing, and I'm like, okay, cheap suits. I like suits. Let me go to this fitting. Invited a few people, and I saw what the guy was doing. And I was like, it was like a light bulb went off in my mind.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is it. I could do this, man. And they were traveling from Winnipeg every 3 months, and they'd come to Toronto. They'd have fittings down at the Grand Hotel, which is
Jarvis.
Jarvis
and,
yeah,
and
on Jarvis
Dundas.
there, correct. And so I actually approached the guy after the fitting. I ordered my suit and stuff, and during the process, my friends that were there, I was the one kind of setting them up. I'm like, yeah, do this, get this color, get that, you know. And I approached them afterwards, and I was like, man, like, you guys are traveling every 3 months. You ever thought about doing something in Toronto? And they're like, yeah, you know, we've had thoughts about that, but, you know, our operations in Winnipeg. I'm like, listen, I work in an industry where I got to wear suits all the time. I would love to do this, man. Like, how can we get this going? And the guy that was there was he was a representative for the company, but he wasn't one of the owners. Mm-hmm. And I said, look, I would love to do this. And he was like, yeah, you know what? We're thinking about it. We're actually in talks of trying to get representatives around the country. And yeah, if you're interested, I can put you in touch with the owner. I'm like, put me in touch. I'm a sales guy, right? So I'm like, put me in touch with him, right? So I sent emails and stuff to them. Probably took maybe 2 months or so for us to kind of get the conversation going in a direction that was probably like something's going to happen. And at the end of it, they said, you know what, we're going to give it a shot. You know, we'll be your back office. It's going to be your business, your own marketing and all that stuff. And we'll provide the fabrics and all that. We'll do the training for you. So you learn, you know, the ins and outs of suiting and all that and go. And I hit the ground running, man.
Wow.
I hit the ground running.
Wow, it's really cool. I never heard that before.
Yeah, that's how I got started. And I worked with them for 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to kind of learn the industry. And again, I had that itch. I'm like, I got to do something. And they had connections to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yes.
So I did fittings with, I was inside Dion Phaneuf's house with him doing fittings. And I had Jonathan, JVR, James Van Riemsdyk. I still have his phone number, right? Like he would text me and like, yeah, I want to order this, I want to order that. And these guys were contacting me, not for the company, but for me, because it's a service industry and it's like a relationship that you build. It's almost like your barber.
Yes.
Like that's my suit guy.
Yes.
You know? And I started to think, how can I do my own thing? Because at the end of it, this was still not mine. I would come up against certain creative differences where I wanted to do certain things and like, well, production can't do that. I'm like, all right, what if we do this? We can't really do that. And it was happening so often that I was like, I got to do my own thing. Yeah. I want to do double-breasted vests with pants that have side tabs on them and all sorts of things. And so I started to do that.
You were bumping into the box.
Yeah, man.
Right? The box.
I wanted to live outside
the smaller
of that box.
thinking.
Yes.
I wanted to live outside of that
amazing.
box.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So that's how that kind of got started. And I had a mentor that was in the fashion industry. And he was saying the same thing. He's like, dude, why are you building a monster that you're going to have to fight later on? Do your own thing. Mm-hmm. Right. And he made some introductions to some suppliers, some in Italy and, you know, and places that I wouldn't be able to get into if I were to go in on my own.
Italy, Ajax,
Scarborough. Actually, no, I have made my own introductions to Scarborough.
Exactly.
You know? So he helped me in kind of establishing a way for me to do my own thing, and I ended up launching my own company.
So when you did leave to start your own thing, how did the company that brought you on, how did they take it?
They did not take it well because so after I got started with them, they started doing it because it worked well. It's like I was like the pilot project almost. Yeah. And it worked well because I was selling almost as much as their actual people that were in Winnipeg. Wow. And I was doing it on the side. Yeah. Wow. Remember, I'm married. That time had, you know, my daughter, you know, working full time, doing this on the side, just driven by passion, right? So they started to do this.
I heard that before.
Yeah, you might have heard that before. So they started doing it around the country, and it was very successful because they were now having revenue streams from all over the country, and I was a top guy. So they had Calgary, they had like all over. And so when I said, look, I got to go, they're like, man, like, why are you leaving? I said, well, I kind of just want to do my own thing. And they're like, no, you know what? In our factory, we can put because at that time I had Chinedu style on Instagram, still do. And it was growing, and they were like, you know what, we can put Chinedu style on a whole different area of the facility, and you'll have your own brand through us. And I was like, no, man, I need to do my own thing.
Isn't it funny?
They didn't take it very well, because they were like, you should have told us, and we could have done something for you. But I was so grateful to them just for the opportunity to learn. And I said to them, you know, I really appreciate it, but I need to do my own thing. And at that time, I had already sort of established things anyways. Like, I was already doing stuff on the side on my own. So when I got to them, I had already sort of like started the process. So for him to say, oh, let's do it, I was like, no, I've already started it, and I saw some success already.
It's funny about timing as well.
Yeah.
What if maybe 6 months earlier they approached you with that offer before it even getting there? I find a lot of times
timing is a huge thing.
It's huge, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, sometimes, you know, when they say the grass is green on the other side?
Yeah.
Well, until you get to that moment to reflect that, if something happens that alters that before you get there, it could change that, right?
It could, but that's being, if you think that way, you're almost being driven by fear, right? Like, I had that conversation as well. In that same conversation that I told him I'm leaving, the guy was like, it's not as easy as it looks, man. You know, it's going to be tough on that side. And he almost, by saying that, this guy doesn't know me and how I run.
Right.
He literally made me want to do it more by saying that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I was like, I know it's probably going to be tough, man, but I'm going to bet on myself.
Right.
I'm going to bet on myself. So
Hey.
to answer your question, if they had come 6 months earlier, probably wouldn't have still made a difference, because what they were doing, it's called made to measure. There's differences in the suiting industry, right? So you have, I got to stop saying right. I have my friend here, Chris. I'm always saying things
Shout
like
out to
right,
Chris.
right?
Yeah.
Like affirming things. There's ready to wear, which is you go grab stuff off the rack. There's made to measure, which essentially it's just an upgrade on ready to wear. It's templated patterns. So if somebody like you know, tall guy here, big guy, you're probably maybe a 44 long in a jacket.
That's
right?
exactly what it is.
Yeah. Listen, I do this.
Wow.
Right?
Next show's at 2 o'clock.
So they would take a 44 long template,
and
they have a plus minus system. So on a regular 44 long, the sleeves might be, you know, from shoulder to sleeve 27 inches.
Right.
But yours is 27 and a half. So they would plus half an inch.
Okay.
The stomach area, they might add or take away. So it's a plus minus system on an already established pattern.
Right.
Then you have custom.
Right.
So custom, which is what I do for the most part, is an individual pattern is drafted for you. So I'll take the measurements. It's about 30, 40 measurements. I'll take the slope of your shoulder. You know, if you slouch forward, take all those measurements, and we draft the pattern based on all those things.
Right.
And then it's finished with some machine work and all that stuff.
Yes.
And then you have the ultimate, which is bespoke tailoring. You hear that term often, and I think it's often used inaccurately.
Okay.
Because a bespoke suit is made completely by hand. Typically, back in the day, it comes from the term bespoken, which means your outfit or your garment has been spoken for. So back in the day in England, you know, you would have tailors that would have certain fabrics, and that fabric was Mike's or Constantine's, and they would actually have their name on it, and people would come in and be like, I want that. It's been spoken for. Right? It was almost like a badge of honor to have a bespoke suit that was exclusively made for you.
Right.
So switch to
down
now.
to the fabric. Wow.
Down to the fabric. But now it really stands for something that is made completely by hand.
Okay.
You know, and it involves a number of fittings and things like that, and it's very complicated. It takes maybe 12 weeks.
How often do you get those requests?
I get so I do maybe in a year I'll do maybe 5 bespoke suits.
Okay.
But I'll do 20 custom suits a month.
Okay.
20 to 30 custom suits a month.
Do you have like how many bespoke suits do you have in your closet?
I have 2 bespoke suits.
Okay.
Wow. So it seems like something to work towards.
It does,
Yeah.
man.
Can you
It really
imagine?
There's a
does.
level of exclusivity.
Look, there's something like that resonate. I'm very strongly passionate about this. I mean, maybe I shouldn't be saying this because it's just too close. But yesterday,
We're gonna make you a suit? Absolutely.
well,
Let's do it.
yesterday I interviewed someone, and he came in and he didn't have a suit. Okay, now for everybody listening, if you're gonna get interviewed by this office, come in a black suit, fitted. However,
By CE Clothier.
by CE Clothier, exactly. He comes in and he doesn't have a suit on. And my biggest gripe is, every person should have a suit. Every person. Okay.
I believe that.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask you for confirmation. Is that something that I'm off? Because now the millennial generation is like, no, you don't have to wear a suit. You can wear whatever you want.
A suit means something different now than it did back in the day.
Yes.
When someone had a suit, there was an air of class and all that. Now, I believe like a suit is you wear it because you want to wear it, not because you have to wear it. Right? Like even for me, I'm wearing a blazer today. I got a t-shirt on. I wear it in a way that still is appropriate for the spaces that I'm in.
Yes.
I do believe that every man, woman should have a suit.
Yes, I agree.
Because there's a certain feeling that you have when you're wearing a suit. A proper suit, by the way.
Absolutely.
Because you could get a suit and really...
Look like Shabba Ranks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Shabba Ranks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It could definitely have the opposite effect.
Yes.
But a suit should make you feel more confident. Should make you stand taller. Like certain customizations that I do on a suit will have a visual effect that people don't even understand. Like I'm wearing peak lapels right now. A peak lapel will make your shoulder look like it's wider.
Okay.
So I have a lot of guys who come in and I say, let's do a peak lapel for you. Right? They'll do it. They put it on. They're like, I feel different.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Yes.
A suit.
I feel different. Oh my goodness. This is amazing.
Yeah. Thank you, Mickey.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
So definitely, I think every person should have a suit for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
If not for funerals and weddings, or weddings and funerals.
No, just in general.
Yeah, just
in
to
general.
have.
So
and suits are getting so much more fun these days.
They are.
Yeah.
You know, there's this thing happening now in fashion called athleisure. So you're seeing a lot of like, athletic brands merge with suiting brands.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Yeah, and then you're seeing this sort of mix of comfortability with luxury.
I mean, I'm seeing. I
Ooh,
was at my
that's
kid's
my
grad.
world. That's what I love.
Kids were
Yeah.
wearing suits with running shoes on.
Yes,
You know
that's
what
the
I
new
mean?
thing now.
Yeah.
That's
What?
the new thing now.
Suits with running shoes.
That
Are you
started in
kidding
Italy.
me?
That started in Italy.
Seriously, that was an Italy thing.
That started in Italy.
Wow.
Because there's a show.
Yes.
I did that in 1992.
Yeah,
I
you
did
did.
it.
You did.
Easy Will Smith.
I'm not joking.
No, he
Really?
did. He did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was always wearing running shoes with
Yeah.
it. And then he would switch into the dress shoes when he got to his locker.
Okay.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. It started in Italy.
Okay.
And because there's always trade shows and things happening. There's something called Pittiomo. It happens in Italy. Pittiomo.
Yeah.
It's a seasonal trade show where there's fashion shows and buyers and suppliers meet.
Yes.
And you're always going from one meeting to the next, and you want to be comfortable. So
Okay.
if you're walking from Milan, you're walking here and there, you want to be comfortable. So
Okay.
a lot of people would wear running shoes, and then
I love
it's
it.
now a
Isn't
global thing.
it amazing? There's a lot of fashion that's birthed out of necessity. No one would know the
Oh, for
origin,
sure.
but it's literally out of straight necessity.
100%.
And at some point, in its second phase, it becomes
a fashion
like a signature
sort of
mark.
thing,
Yeah.
But I think for that look to get pulled off, you have to have first of all the right kind of fitted suit,
100%.
and you have to have the right kind of shoe.
Which
And
I-
you also got to be the right kind of it has to suit you kind of bit. You know what I mean? You just can't be like
You can't
me
just,
say-
you
did
can't
you
just
just-
throw stuff together.
you can't be like a really heavy person, for example, with a really baggy suit and running shoes. And the look has to all come together.
Right.
I think, in my mind at least.
100%.
I don't think it'd look good on me, for example. I think it'd look good on you, but that's
a
an
fitted
example.
suit?
A fitted suit?
No, not a fitted suit. The running shoe look
Of
with
course
the
it would.
suit.
Why wouldn't it?
I mean, that's in my mind. I can
That's the
visualize it on
thing.
my.
You have to go from what you know about it
Yeah.
to actually doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it would look great on you, actually. You've
Right.
got
Well,
that height. You've got...
He's size 15, right?
Yeah.
And he wears Air Force Ones, which are clunky shoes.
Yes.
Right?
And
I love
wear-
them.
And
I love Air Force Ones.
and I
but
love them too because I can get that size.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
hard to get.
It's
good
so funny.
shoes.
I have this conversation with people. I think the difficulty that you've had with finding things that fit
Yes.
make it difficult for you to picture yourself in something that fits.
Oh my! This is, I
Ooh.
feel like we're like in an intervention
Intervention.
right now.
It
Right
is.
now.
Yeah. But that's it's okay. I'm here to help.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, but that's a conversation that I have often, and that's
Okay.
why people do custom.
Okay.
When they come to me, they're like, "Man, I really have a tough time finding something that fits me," and it's part of the reason why I do what I do, because I go from seeing that to having them put on something that actually fits. It's actually for them. It fits their shape, the challenges that they've been having, and it's such a rewarding thing, and it changes them and their confidence. And
Give us an idea. What have you seen?
What have I seen?
When someone puts that blazer on,
yeah,
give us an idea. What happens
it's
to
the
them?
same thing. It's the same thing every time. Like a guy will, especially somebody who doesn't wear suits, and now, for example, maybe they've gotten a new job and they're like, I have to impress.
Yes.
I've never done this before, and I wanna do this. I'll do it for them, and that look, I always look for that, and they're right in front of in the mirror. They put it on, they're like, and it's just, it goes from I'm scared, what's gonna happen, to this smile that goes over their face. It's like, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, right? And I'm like, yes, this is why I do it.
That's
and I
awesome,
might have had a tough day going to that fitting, or I might have maybe lost something where I was supposed to get a fitting and I didn't get one, and it's like, okay, I'm going to this fitting, and I see that, and it just reinvigorates me to why I do what I do.
Okay.
Satisfaction.
No, really.
Listen, for us, what resonates with what you're saying about getting that sense of confidence, and so in our security industry, most people, if you look at them, will wear really unkept suits, or what I mean by unkept is that there's no thought process. They're very boxy shaped looking, or they won't even wear a suit. They wear something else. But
standard black suit off the rack.
Typically,
right?
Yeah.
I've heard this over and over again from our people. Is they love putting on a suit and working in our environments, and the way people treat you is very different
100%.
than if you had a bold, white shirt or that said the word security, and then or it's a very instantly perception changes.
100%.
Instantly,
especially if it fits well.
Right.
Yes.
I've seen people who wear, again, if you're not wearing a suit that fits properly, it's the opposite. It's like, this guy doesn't even know how to put on a suit. Why would I have any respect for him?
Right.
He thinks, but in his mind, I have a suit on. You should give me respect.
Right. Right.
That's
right.
If somebody's wearing a well-fitted suit,
right,
you're almost like thinking, okay, if he's able to put that together in this way, he probably knows what he's doing.
Right.
Have you had a fitted suit yet? We talked about this before.
No, I haven't. And
have you had conversations?
The closest that I've ever had, and I mentioned this before, was a place called Black Lapel in the U.S.
I know them very well.
Yeah,
they're on online service.
Right, that's right. And
it's like Indochino or whatever.
Yeah, for the most part, it did its thing. However, it didn't give me what I was expecting.
No, but this was online.
Yes.
No, but I'm saying that the experience.
No, I've never had
outside eyes.
No.
Have you stand?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to say this because I need to get this done. TIFF is coming up. TIFF is a massive Toronto International Film Festival.
No, not what is it?
Oh,
when
okay,
is it?
okay. Sorry.
September 5th to 15th.
Yeah, September, and it's literally.
Thank you for reminding me. I got to start pushing.
Yes.
Reaching out to people.
I think we're right now in June. I really think it's time. Like, if I forget, it's time that this happens.
Let's do it.
It's time this happens.
Let's do it.
I have an idea for you.
Overdue.
Yeah.
Take famous movie quotes, line them in the jacket.
That could be done.
Yeah, just literally
Yes.
famous movie quote, something inside, just a little something.
Yeah.
We'll find out what
done.
their favorite movie quote
Anything's
is.
possible, man.
Throw
It's
it in
custom.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, custom for TIFF.
Yeah.
It's comfortable. Or
Yeah.
or a standing in the 6 logo.
Oh.
Hey.
There you
That
go.
could work.
There you go.
Right? Imagine opening up your blazer, and when you're reaching for, you're like, oh, and it says, "Did you or did you not order the code red?" That's a few good men. You goddamn right, I
my
did.
goodness. Let me ask you this. Let's just dive into the business aspect of what you're doing right
So
now.
you haven't done the experience.
No.
It's literally like,
Mike had a taste of it.
yes,
Not fully custom.
Yeah.
He was kind of in the middle there,
Yes.
but he got a taste of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a game changer. It's definitely an experience. It's something that if you've never done, you have to do it.
Okay.
And if you don't know what you don't know. So you don't
That's it.
you have no clue of how it will change you or how you look at. And it's what I love about it is at the end of the day, we know it's just clothes. Right?
Yeah.
Like we know it's just clothes. We're enough of we realize like it doesn't make all the difference. At the same token, it makes a big difference.
A huge difference.
It makes
man.
doesn't make all the
Massive.
difference. It makes a huge difference.
Huge.
You know, and in such a fast world, to be able to step into a room. So Chinedu suited me for a suit, and I was going to a TIFF party.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure if I ever told you this.
No, it wasn't a TIFF party.
This was a
No,
TIFF.
this is for the CSAs. It was a CSA party. The blue suit.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Oh, better memory than me. Look at that. I never told you this, that I was so not used to doing it that literally the day I got dressed to go, I took a picture and I sent you a video,
Yes, you
and
did.
I literally said, like, "Does this look good?" Like,
Yeah.
no
Yeah,
joke.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
it was literally like a FaceTime
Confirmation.
consult.
Yeah.
And he literally gave me like this, like, good Nigerian thumbs
Yeah.
up. It was just like,
You put your
Right?
own little flavor on it too. You
Yeah.
added like a scarf and stuff. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about.
oh
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I added a scarf from Oscar, which is handmade in Guatemala.
Guatemala.
Right? So, look, I'm just going. I get there. I'm a regular dude in my own mind, and I always will be. I drive, I park, I fart, I walk up. Okay? And when I walk up, literally, it's bizarre, but there's this, when you're dressed properly, there's a polarizing effect about it that you just have to embrace. I think that's where it changes the game. Your clothes start to speak so loud,
Yes.
you can't ignore it.
Wow.
And I think that's literally, you have to kind of, for me, I had to just be okay with that. Because I'm okay to like literally just kind of slide in a room really quietly. I'm totally fine. I'm totally fine to be out of sight, out of mind. It's just kind of, I've always
Yeah.
been like that.
Yeah,
Okay. Until I whip a ball at you. Okay.
And it doesn't necessarily have to do that either.
No.
Because I have a lot of clients who come in and they're very conservative. They don't want anything too loud, but they just want a well-fitted garment.
Yes.
And another thing that we talk about in what we do is we like to enhance the essence of who you are. So if you are that person who's boisterous and, will do something that matches your personality, that will enhance it in a way that is positive, right? If
How
you're
do
somebody
you determine that?
in so many different ways. Like we'll pick a fabric that, we know is going to be a unique fabric.
Okay.
You'll be able to choose a liner that is a unique one that is, maybe it's a little bit louder or whatever that is. But we'll find ways to customize the outfit so that it speaks to who you are. So
enhances your essence. I like that.
essence of who you are.
Yeah.
You know Coach B?
Yes.
Yeah. So I played football with him at York.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I designed a suit for him. And his thing is, I want something nobody has. So
You know
instead of-
Coach B. He trained Miguel. Got Miguel to be
I don't
skinny.
know who he is.
Skinny Miguel.
Yeah.
Oh,
The football guy.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not just a football guy. That guy is a
He's
freak of nature.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But when I customized his suit, no pockets. Like no chest pockets, no pockets at all. Right? One button on the sleeve. Because when we played football, his number was number 1.
Okay.
Right? So that you can do certain things on a suit
Yes.
that make it yours.
Right.
That make it an individual
signature
unique piece.
things,
Little
yeah.
signature things that make it an individual piece for you. Right? It doesn't have to, but when he wears that suit, it's a regular blue suit, but to him, he knows. He's like, it's mine.
Okay.
There's
Yeah.
things in here that I've chosen.
And he's a beast. So like, not too many people could fit in his blazer.
Yeah.
Really?
That guy's
If you go on my
ripped.
Instagram, he was the last 2 posts that I
Okay.
posted.
Yeah. That guy's a beast. So look, I walk into this room, and no joke, it's literally like there's like a look, and then there's like a stare, and then there's a look down and up, and it's like, okay. So
Yeah.
I walk in, give my name, right? They're like, okay, welcome to the party.
What is this
You know,
for?
This is for the Canadian Screen Awards. So
This is the
was,
award, that nomination you got?
Yeah.
Oh,
So this-
yes, I was there.
Yeah.
It was like a party. It wasn't the actual awards. that
It
we
wasn't
did
the
that for.
awards.
It was like a breakfast party,
Yeah.
Okay.
a brunch party.
A brunch party before it. And man, I am not understating this in any way. At least 30 people out of a room of about 100 came up to me and specifically talked to me about my suit. So I'm not joking. Remember I had your business
Yeah,
card?
yeah, yeah.
I literally was saying this is my boy CE Clothier. That's what I was talking about the whole time.
I got
Wow.
a
was
few. I
a-
actually got a few calls.
Really? Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
CSA, yes,
Okay,
people,
nice.
yeah.
And I say that just I've never had that experience before, where because you just walk in. I'm putting my clothes on.
Yes.
right? My clothes were speaking. It was resounding through the room, and people were coming up and just kind of like touching my arm and like. I'm not. It's just bizarre.
I'm glad I helped to people
Just by hearing
assaulting
this.
you and
Just
in
by
public.
hearing this, it's like I want this. I want this experience.
It is pretty amazing. And again, you appropriate it. You know, it's just clothes. So now that it gets
Yeah.
you in and it makes a statement, what are you about?
Right.
And that's
What are
what
you
it
about?
follows up.
What are you about?
Of
If
course.
all you're good at, like, the only other experience that I
beyond.
had with this is where was it? I went. Do you know Lee Romberg? I might have told you about a guy.
Yes.
Lee Romberg styled me. Shout out to Lee Romberg off the cuff, Broadway and Yonge Street. He gave me a hat. Remember that top hat that I wore?
Yeah.
He gave me a hat that was from 1867 when Canada became a nation. It was worn in Ottawa by a doctor, and I wore it to a a gold carpet party
Yeah.
on Sony Pictures lot.
Yeah.
And it literally, like, I could not imagine all the amazing conversation you had because of what you're wearing.
Yeah.
And this is what it is. It's actually the icebreaker for the other person.
It can be.
Yeah, that's what I experienced.
Yeah.
I know that I'm not a guy that people approach naturally. I've had people tell me my entire life, they're like, man, you're a nice guy. I'm like, oh, thanks. They're like, man.
It's like a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, they're like, oh, when I first met you, man, right?
You
Like,
probably whipped the ball at them.
you know,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right.
my whole life, people have just thought that I'm very unapproachable, that they can't. So when I wore something,
You probably shouldn't wear shades on the inside.
yo, you're.
I had to get that in there.
Yeah.
It's all good. Yeah. It's all good. Comes with the territory.
Yeah.
Like right now, you don't know where I'm looking.
Yeah,
you don't know where I'm
yeah,
looking.
yeah.
I say that because it's an icebreaker. I notice it for me. If I'm dressed nice, people feel more comfortable to come up
Right.
to me, to talk to me,
Right.
which is a good thing.
Right.
100%.
You know, there's a true story. There's a guy walking past me, 100% did this. He's like, you know what? He's like, there's two types of people. He goes, there's people when you see them, you want to give them a kiss. And he's like, and there's other people, you want to punch them. And he's like, you look like a guy I just want to punch.
No way.
I'm not joking.
I thought it was going to go the other way just
No.
now. I thought you were wearing a suit. He's like, yeah.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
But I'm totally fine.
And then he gives him a kiss.
So I say that you need the experience.
Yeah.
Trust me. And the smile, Constantine's a grinner. Like if he can't hide it, you
Yeah.
got like that kind of that schoolboy joy.
Yeah.
That you'd be like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, I look good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if you did this,
That's
you
my goal.
You probably
Constantine,
would.
get that smile on
All
your
right,
face.
And I
Really
know
get
him. He's
that,
a
man.
passionate guy too. So if you did this, you probably couldn't go back to just regular off the rack
No,
peasantry.
100%. Like to me, like I know the profound change it can make, and I know how our clients view that.
Right.
We're actually referred to in the city as the guys in the red ties kind of thing, just because of like the look that we're kind of
So
pushing.
you branded yourself that
Yeah,
way.
so I really want to amplify this. I like this, man. Let me ask you this: a lot of people jumping into business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you said that you always wanted to do this. You also said that when you were looking at talking with this guy, the guy said it's going to be hard. Okay, remember the guy that told you that you were working for?
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
going to be hard to get into what
The
you're doing.
doubting
Well,
win-
he,
the
yeah, he
doubting-
said
the-
that to dissuade me. Yes.
Yes,
The doubting Winnipegger.
but the reality is,
He's a
even
nice
though,
guy, though.
even though he said it to dissuade you, there is a lot of truth to that, right?
100%.
What are some obstacles that you were facing or have been facing to kind of get off the ground and push forward into what you're doing?
Sacrifice in time for sure. Having a family, trying to balance having a young family and spending time and seeing those times in your children's lives that are crucial at this point, and time. Because in order to build a business, you need to put time and effort into it. Like really put time and effort into it, and that's one of the biggest challenges in the beginning. And my wife has been amazing in terms of just allowing me to do certain things and just being so understanding when I can't be in a certain place, and she knows what I'm doing and how
Yeah.
that's helping us as a family,
Supporting you through
supporting me through that.
Because it's sacrifice.
100%.
You don't hear that word, huh? To me, as soon as you said that, that's a rare word.
It
you don't
is
hear
sacrifice,
it. I don't think
for sure.
in our day and age people warm up to that word anymore.
No.
If anything, everyone's
I think
trying to
it's-
get ahead without ever
You have
having to sacrifice.
If you really want to get ahead and you really want to be successful in anything, there has to be certain sacrifices.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Did you have moments or times where you're like, man, this is just too hard. I don't know if I can keep doing this?
No,
Never had those?
no.
Wow. That's rare, too. Very rare.
But I guess maybe not yet.
Because
Yeah.
Chinedu's
comfortable.
rare.
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
know about that.
You know why?
Why?
Because he's leading. He's not following. That's
There
his
you
name,
go.
right?
There you go.
No, I think before I got into it on my own, there's a few calculated risks that I had done, even just to work with that company for those 2 years. That took sacrifice and time and learning and certain things that I knew that if I did it on my own, I would do or not do. So I kind of had an idea of what I was doing, and it becomes a lot for sure. You don't want to grow too quickly. Sometimes there's orders and you're like, can I fill this? There's certain situations that I'm like, can I do this particular thing? But the entirety of CE Clothier and moving forward with the brand, there's never been a moment that I'm like, I can't, I don't know know if this is something I should be doing.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah, it feels right.
You're in your element, you know.
100%.
What
Yeah.
are you most proud of, like as an accomplishment up until this point that you've gone? Like you look back at this, you're like, man, like wow. I mean, I've
Yeah.
been able to do this.
Aside from fitting Mike Coulter of
Yes.
Luke Cage, Derek Fisher. I mean, there's
Ooh.
been a number of
Yeah, those are really
These are
monumental,
some- yeah.
monumental moments. It's tough to like think about those things. I'm someone who I'm my toughest critic, and I feel like I haven't hit really where I want to be. But looking back on the things that I've done, probably Derek Fisher.
yeah.
Probably being able to establish not just fitting him, but establishing, somewhat of a relationship there where he's not just a client.
Okay.
That was a really proud moment when I went down to LA. Nobody really knows the story of how that even happened.
Yeah, how does that happen? I was actually saying that when we were coming in, I was saying to him, you know what, it'd be interesting to find out how a guy from Scarborough flies to LA to fit Derek Fisher, who
Yeah.
basically hit big shots for the Lakers to
Sure,
win
he's
a number
he's a
of
Laker
championships.
legend. And I'm a Laker
he
fan.
is a Laker legend. Oh, yes.
I've been a
Still?
Laker fan
Still.
since
Yes.
the 90s.
Yes.
I was always a Lakers
He was
fan.
always a
Really?
Laker
So
fan.
Derek Fisher was my guy. So
Nice.
long story short, because
Which
is
is
a
a
long
little
story.
surreal. That's
It is,
surreal.
Yeah.
trust me. That's
Yeah.
why it's like a
Yeah.
big accomplishment for me. But I have a friend who is an actor. He's originally from the States.
Okay.
He was up here running a security company, actually. His name's Jay Hunter. He's running a security company. I worked with him when I was at York, just kind of making some money on the side. And then he went into acting. I actually acted on a show in 2003 called Playmakers.
Hey.
Look it up.
Okay.
So we established a relationship there, and he went off to LA, and he introduced me to a producer out there. I did a suit for him. My first ever CE Clothier suit was for a producer in Los Angeles.
Amazing.
I have the invoice 00001. Shout out to Choice Skinner
Hey.
in LA. He's a producer, director. And then Choice Skinner had a friend who's also in the industry, but he's in fashion and he's an editor for a magazine. And Choice was at a party, and this guy came up to him and was like, "Where did you get that suit?" He's like, I got this guy from Canada. You should hook up with him. So the guy called me. His name's Dimitri. Shout out Dimitri from Regard Mag in Los Angeles. He called me, and he's like, "Man, I want to work with you. I would love to have your stuff in our studio," because he does styling. So a lot of celebrities will come to his studio and pull for different awards
Yes.
ceremonies, for the Oscars and for things like that. He's like, "We want to house your stuff in our studio."
Wow.
And I was like, "Wow, that sounds like a great opportunity.
That's
What
dope.
do I need to do?" And he dropped some numbers, and I'm like, "Man, this is early in my career here. I don't think I can afford that, but can I stay in touch with you?" He's like, "Yeah, no problem." So I stayed in touch with him, and literally 2 years after that, he contacted me. He's like, "I have someone who needs, just a couple of jackets. Can you do something for me?" I'm like, yeah, no problem. Just send me some pictures of how they look, and I can put something together and a couple measurements, no problem, because I have access to some ready-to-wear stuff. And so he sent me a picture of Derek Fisher. I'm like, "Okay, can you send me the person? Because I have to see his shoulders and things like that." He's like, "It's Derek Fisher." I was like, "What?" I'm like, "Okay." So I sent 3 blazers. He needed 1. I sent 3. I said, let him take his pick. If he likes it, great. So sent it to him. He loved it. He was doing, at that time, there was something called the Players Corner or something like that. KG
Yeah.
started something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they would do interviews here and there. And so he just needed something for it's Players Tribune, something like that. And so after that, he started to do other appearances. So a couple months after, he was like, "Hey, can you send me another?" I'm like, "You know what, man? Why don't I do something custom for him?" He's like, you think we could do that?" I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be in LA, in the next couple of weeks. I had no plans to be in LA, by the way. This is just my salesmanship.
Yeah.
I'm like, "I'm going to be in LA, next week. I can come down and just fit him up." He's like, "If you can do that, man, that'd be great. Let me talk to him." He talked to him. And I remember this. I had my tailor with me, my boy Yusuf. Shout out Yusuf.
Mm-hmm.
And we were in the barbershop. I took him to Weston and Lawrence to get a cut, right? And I get the call. He's like, "Hey, man, Derek's down if you're down to come." I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'll be there." I flew down there, and literally I'm sitting in Regard Mag, the studio, and he walks in. I'm like, "Yo, this is really happening. This is Derek Fisher." And he's such a humble guy. Like, he's so down to earth. And before we even started, he was like, "I just want to thank you for coming all the way out here, man. Like, you didn't have to do this. Thank you so much." for this. And he was thanking. I'm like, thank you, man. Like you're,
Yeah,
you're Derek Fisher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and
Thank you for being Derek Fisher.
Thank you for being you,
Yeah,
hitting
yeah,
them shots.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we got into it. You know, we started a relationship there, and from there I suited him up for NBA TV.
Wow.
A couple coaching appearances that he made, and we've just been in contact
Amazing.
ever since. And just establishing that relationship has been really, really great for me. And just building the relationship with people in LA has been wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
That's awesome, man.
It's crazy. Off the first suit, first invoice, first suit, where isn't it so cool when you look back and you see how
the takeaway from
things.
that though that I would give people is you've gotta have the initiative to do things.
Yes.
I don't think had I not gone down there, I don't think the relationship would be what it is.
Yeah.
Because that action and just even he saw it. He was like, you didn't have to do this.
Yeah.
And from there, like we all-star events, him and Dimitri would be like, hey, you want to go to this event? I was there. I went to Jamie Foxx's party when I was out there. I went to all these things. I had access to certain things because I took that initiative, right? And it's not always trying to take, but giving,
Yeah.
you know?
I think that lacks tremendously in many people that are into business or in anything opportunities. Being at the right place at the right time, pushing yourself to do something that's out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
You
Making
know,
a sacrifice.
making a
Sacrifice of time and
sacrifice.
money.
Yep.
That was on your own bill. You went to LA.
These are all
That's
keys.
it.
Yeah.
See, nobody can ever.
Airplane mouse.
Yeah, there you
Hey,
go,
Shout out to
man.
Canada.
Exactly.
Hey.
Nobody
Point
can.
systems for all those smart husbands out there.
Yep.
Listen to your ladies.
That's it.
And get those points.
Get
There
those
you go.
points, man.
Okay.
Nobody can take that away from you. Shouldn't do that. You basically did what you did. Meaning, as oh man, he could have just gotten lucky, or he could have done this. You basically pushed
Oh, man.
to get there. And listen,
100%.
you know, even saying things like
Yeah, I'm just going to swing by LA.
I'm gonna sit
next
by LA
week.
kind of thing. Look, man. I mean, we've done stuff like this in the past
Yeah.
before, just to kind of get those opportunities.
What's the term? They fake it till you make it, but it's not even fake, man.
You know what it is?
No.
Had I not.
Can I say what it is?
Go ahead.
It's going in faith, man. That's what
Yeah.
it is. That's the difference. You know,
100%.
faking till you make it is one way to look at it. To me, it's going in faith. You have no idea what it's going to lead to.
Yeah.
If someone asked you, okay, what is the strategy? How do you know that this is worth your time? You
Right.
have you couldn't answer anyone. You just know I gotta go.
I gotta go.
I have
Yeah.
to go. I have to get
And
there.
I had a plan B, by the way. So
Yeah.
in my mind, like I had set up in a hotel and all that stuff. And in my mind, if the fitting, like if it fell through, because I always, with celebrities, things always fall through, right? Like if I had gotten there and it's like, okay, he can't do it, you know,
Yeah.
I set things up in the hotel. I reached out to some people and I actually had fittings set up when I got there. So I had Derek, but I also had 3 people that came to my hotel in Redondo Beach that got fitted for suits.
Smart.
And I paid for my everything
Yeah.
by that.
Right.
So at the end of the day, it wouldn't have been for naught.
Right.
I still kind of had.
Very smart.
Entrepreneur tip number 2: plan
Yes.
your B's and C's. Right.
Yes.
Plan.
You need to have that.
Plan. You have to have a
Look,
plan.
look, nothing is by accident. Okay,
Absolutely.
nothing's by accident, and everything that we're hearing today is basically a story of basically grind, a story of perseverance.
No doubt.
And to me, man, I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you,
I'm
man.
proud of you.
I'm proud of you guys, too,
I
man.
love
This is
hearing.
amazing.
I love hearing these stories, man. I love it, and it's also shout out to Scarborough, man, because we're finding a lot of
Yeah,
talent.
we didn't even
lives.
get into that, guys. Like
Yeah.
Scarborough is at the heart of who I am. You know, I have my studio based in Scarborough,
Nice.
and I could be downtown. A lot of my counterparts are downtown, and it makes sense to be downtown because that's where everybody is who wears suits and all that. But I very consciously have my studio based in Scarborough because, again, that's where I grew up. It's what formed me and my identity. And so I didn't want to move out of there. I wanted to bring people to Scarborough,
Amazing.
you know? And it's definitely at the heart of what I do. I consider myself an ambassador for Scarborough. Even when I'm out in LA, it's always... You know, you're from Toronto. I'm like, yeah, I'm from Scarborough, Toronto.
They're like, oh, are you east of Kennedy Road?
Yeah,
are you a real
Yeah,
one?
yeah.
Are you a real one, buddy?
Now
Yes.
people know Kennedy Road out there.
They
Yeah,
do.
of
Absolutely.
course.
Shout out Drake.
Of course.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Let me ask you another question, and I gotta go, so we'll just wrap it from here. But
Yeah.
what are your plans and goal and aspirations for the next couple of years? Like, do you have anything at all you want to conquer or take over or see yourself do, or, you know, obviously just
Yeah, obviously, number one, I want to grow the brand even more than what it is now. So I'm like very far away from where we actually want to be, but I want to get into other things, not just suits, but other things that are related to suiting. There's some announcements that are going to be coming out that I can't make right
nice.
now, but certain elements of suiting and certain accoutrement of suiting that will be
Ooh.
added on. I definitely want to go into that space and yeah, just build my business acumen. I just really want to expand myself in that way and continue to sort of learn more.
Beautiful. Well,
Yeah.
You gotta make the ultimate backpack.
The ultimate backpack.
Yeah, a bespoke.
why am I thinking of Dora every time you see
Why-
backpack?
why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
I'm very far from that.
Take it to the
back
next
in the day.
level.
It's funny because you
really?
literally
This is a Scarborough
Here we
man
go.
talking about his roots.
Yeah.
you like exposed me by talking about putting it on and bumping out the
You
muscles
see?
because that's really
But
part of
that's
why I did that.
Nice. There you go.
I'd have like a wife beater, not a wife, but
Wife
a
lover.
singlet, a wife lover,
Wife
on.
lover.
I'd
Okay.
have like what we call in Nigeria, it's called a singlet.
Singlet.
Okay.
I'd have a singlet on,
Yeah.
or a jersey on, and that was like my thing, man. That was
Yeah.
my thing.
Nice.
I'm telling you.
I can't believe you remember that.
Yeah. What? Just one day he's going to be cutting fine Italian leathers.
Yeah.
Fine Italian
for
wife
a
beaters.
bespoke. No, for a backpack.
Yeah.
For a backpack.
Chinedu, how do people find you, man? I want you to do a shout out to
Oh,
everyone
man.
that wants to come and get a nice fitted suit, aka me.
Yes.
How do we find you?
Everybody, grab your pens.
Yes.
Grab your
Pen and
pens.
paper.
Or
your brother-in-law's
email me,
back.
Chinedu at CEClothier.com. Follow me on Instagram at Chinedu Style. That's CHINEDU Style, all one word. We're on Twitter as well. Not as active as I should be, but I'm going to be more.
Okay.
So Chinedu Style, at Chinedu Style on Twitter. Facebook page as well, /CE Clothier. Yeah, get at me, man.
Okay.
There you heard it,
nice.
man. There you
Driven
heard
by
it.
passion.
Beautiful.
Driven
man.
by passion, delivered with style.
That's it.
Amazing, bro.
I think just getting started, bro. Just getting started.
Really
I'm
is.
really
And
excited.
I want to take this moment to really thank you guys for having me, man. It's been a pleasure. I was looking forward to this.
Amazing.
I hardly slept last night. I'm like, I'm gonna go
Get it
go see
already.
these guys.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of what you guys are doing as
Thank
well.
you.
And this setup is like amazing.
Hey,
Amazing.
Appreciate that.
just getting started.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that,
I'm,
man.
I'm
Just getting
looking
started.
forward to seeing what you guys have in store.
Yeah.
Amazing, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Chinedu.
doubt.
It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely,
And
mine
looking
too.
forward to coming getting that
Oh.
custom.
TIFF is not ready.
It's not ready,
They're
man.
not ready
It's
for
not
you.
ready. Oh.
I think you should go really
There you
loud,
go.
really loud and bold.
Well, that pink suit is gonna. Oh, I mean, sorry.
No, I know.
There you
Something.
go,
He
buddy.
actually looks really good in pinks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's a
maybe,
nice
maybe
color.
we'll have a pink line.
Pinks and
Okay,
fuchsia.
maybe.
We'll start
Fuchsia.
small.
Yeah,
what was the
maybe.
color of that shirt you had
It
there?
was like a
Fuchsia.
Yeah, fuchsia. Yeah. It was probably
Fuchsia.
fuchsia. Or that color of this almost, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Beautiful.
It suits his Greek glow,
There you go.
right?
Amazing.
Yeah, you know what? I can't wait for this. You should actually. If,
We're
if
gonna
the-
document this, I
If there's
think.
yes, 100%.
We're gonna
If there's a
document it.
fitting, there'll
We'll do
be
the
a
fitting
dis-
process, even like the try-on phase. We'll do the whole thing.
Yes.
Perfect.
And I think the before and after will be.
You know what? I
no,
do these
no
things.
disrespect.
Yeah.
I do
I'm
these
just-
things on Instagram called Transformation Tuesday. That's actually Coach B. If you look at it,
Okay.
that's
Really?
what I did for him.
Okay.
So maybe we'll have like a before and after
There you go.
transformation.
Perfect.
Yeah,
I love
show,
it.
Show up in your oversized hoodie.
And your clunky Air Max.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
There you go. There you go. Okay.
what I love is that the Italians who are known for their fine shoes,
Yeah.
I guess it's true, they're not comfortable. Because I've always found that some Italian leather, sometimes they're not comfortable, and they
Really?
yeah, oh yeah, maybe
Have you worn true Italian leather, bro?
maybe not, maybe
It's
not.
Sprezzatura. It's a nice.
Yeah,
So,
there you go.
But I find it funny that when they have to do a lot of walking, they put on running shoes. It's just
That's funny.
interesting.
Yeah, that's
right.
Well,
He's interesting.
we're going to have that nice experience.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. It's gonna be so good.
Cool,
It's gonna
man.
be so
Chinedu,
good.
thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you
down,
guys for
brother.
having me, man.
And
Appreciate it.
we'll be looking forward to just making some beautiful Greeks. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, all the best too. I think your heart of what you want to do and why is really cool.
Yeah.
And just keep encouraging you. The work in Scarborough, not too many people have that type of thinking. You've never been a follower, so just keep doing that.
Thank you.
Keep building what you're doing, and I know that as you prosper, other people are going to. You're just that kind of guy that it's not for him.
Yes.
Like when you're in a room with Chinedu and he gets a chance to kind of shape and speak and help you, man, you feel like the most important, prestigious, and richest person in the world when you're with this guy, and like that's a gift, man. I'm telling you, like you kind of, it's not, you're not just looking like I'm just doing my thing. You have this way of just making them feel like the most important person, and I hope that kind of like that dynamic about yourself, that it just brings you into places that you never thought.
Nice.
Whether it's in schools, companies, government circles, whatever. Like you're built for that, man.
Appreciate
like
that,
you're
man.
you're truly built for that.
Thank you, man. Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
so I
That
just
means
think
a lot. That means
yeah,
a
I
lot
really
coming
think
from
that
you, man.
this what you do is it's a picture of what you're going to be doing kind of long term, kind of the legacy that you're going to build.
Take those prophetic words, man.
Yeah, bro.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Thank you,
Amazing.
guys.
Yeah.
All right, thanks very much, Chinedu.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Listen to this episode on iTunes and Spotify. Make sure to drop by next week. And don't forget to subscribe.
Let's go!
It's time to give a shout out to our sponsors. This podcast is brought to you by Sentinel Security Plus. For all your premium security needs, visit sentinelsecurityplus.com.
And The Substance Group for all your integrated marketing solutions. Visit thesubstancegroup.com.